Welcome back to Metric Conversion and Dosages. Today we're going to be talking about dimensional analysis. Before watching this video, please open the worksheet on dimensional analysis and have that in front of you so you can work through the examples I'm about to show you. You can find that in My Lab Nursing, under Document Sharing, and Class 4 Downloads. Please pause the video if you need to get that ready. As you can see at the top of the page, I've provided you with some conversion facts. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. 1 day equals 24 hours. Each of those is true. And what is on the left side of the equal sign, of course, is equal to what is on the right side. So just like 4 equals 4, so 4 divided by 4 equals 1. Because 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. That means that 1 mile divided by 5,280 feet equals what? Well, 5,280 feet go into 1 mile one time. This is called a conversion factor. Now, the cool thing about that is that not only does it equal 1, but also 5,280 feet divided by 1 mile is also equal to 1. So from this initial fact that we have, we can rewrite 1 in two different formats. Which one will we choose? The one that is most useful in the current situation. Let's take a look at example 1 now. Please pause the video and try example 1 yourself first. The reason I want you to do this is actively interacting with the video by pausing, trying a problem, and coming back to the video will help you remember better the techniques we're using. How many minutes are there in 5 hours? Well, you might just in your head do 60 minutes in an hour, 5 times 60, and get your answer. However, I'd like for you to work through this worksheet using dimensional analysis, because when we get to more difficult problems, dimensional analysis will actually make things easier. So I will begin by writing down what I've been given, which is the 5 hours. And because I know what's coming, I'm going to put that over 1. I'm going to be multiplying by a fraction, so I'm just going to turn the 5 hours into a fraction right now. Right now, what am I going to multiply it by, though? How many minutes? I need a conversion factor that involves minutes and hours. So looking up at the top, I see here I have a conversion factor of 1 hour equals 60 minutes. I want to get rid of my hours. I want to be able to cancel that. So I'm going to put hours in the denominator. And I will put the 60 minutes in the numerator. And now that I've done that, this is a multiplication problem. I'm going to multiply those two fractions. And I'm going to cancel the hours. Now that I've done that, the numbers won't cancel. They're both in the numerator. Now I'm going to multiply straight across. 5 times 60 is equal to 300. What units do I have left in the numerator? Only minutes. And in the denominator, I have 1. No units. So actually, I do no longer need to write anything in the denominator. My answer is 300 minutes. I do one final check to see that the units in my answer are the units I was looking for, and I'm good. Moving on to example 2. How many minutes in 3 days? So I will start by writing down 3 days, and just like I did not make hours plural in the previous example, I will not make days plural here. Although as I read it, I probably will because, hey, it's English. 3 days becomes 3 day over 1. And 1 day equals 24 hours, which is this conversion factor. I'm not where I want to be, but at this point, the conversion factor that I've chosen allows me to cancel those days. All right, I'm still not to minutes yet. Where do I need to go next? I have an hour. This conversion factor that I already used in the previous example will get me where I want to go because it goes from hours to minutes, and I can put those hours, that 1 hour, in the denominator. That will allow me to cancel those units, and I can put 60 minutes in the numerator. Now let's look from left to right. What unit do we have left? Minutes left, and that's what we're looking for. So now we can multiply straight across again. Okay? 3 days times 24. No, not 3 days. 3 times 24 times 60 minutes. That will give us 4,320 minutes. And what do we have left in the denominator? 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. But we don't need to write that, do we? Because that is just equal to 4,320 minutes. That is how many minutes there are in 3 days. Let's look at example 3. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. All right, 90 feet per hour is equal to how many feet per minute? The first thing we need to notice is that our units are a little bit different now. This feet per hour, okay, remember the per means division, so we're talking about feet per hour. And we want to know how many feet per minute it is equal to. Okay, so I'm going to start once again with what I've been given, 90 feet per hour. But when I'm writing this per hour, I know I'm going to be multiplying fractions. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hour in the denominator because 90 feet per hour means to travel 90 feet takes 1 hour. I know I'm going to be doing a multiplication here, so I'm going to go ahead and put some parentheses around this. I wonder how many steps it's going to take me to get to my answer. Let's look at what we're looking for. We have feet per hour. We're trying to go to feet per minute. The only difference between the two is the time units, hours and minutes. So it's actually only going to take us one step. We need to get to feet per minute. Feet are already there in the proper place. Feet in the numerator of where I'm starting, feet in the numerator of where I'm finishing. The hours have to change to minutes. So I need a conversion factor between hours and minutes. And let me go ahead and go back up at the top to the top. Find that. Hours and minutes. Once again, we're going to be using this conversion factor. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Let's get back down here. I need to go in here with another multiplication by a fraction. I'm going to put my 1 hour in the numerator because when I do that, I can now cancel my hours. I'm going to put my 60 minutes in the denominator. Now I'm going to check to see that my units are where I want them. The only unit left in the numerator is feet, and that's what I want. That checks. The only unit I have in the denominator is minutes. It's where I want it. That checks. So now I know I can just do whatever I need to do going from left to right. 90 feet times 1 gives me 90 feet. I should have left more room in the denominator because in the denominator now everything is not ones. I have 1 times 60, so I have to squeeze 60 into here. And now I can evaluate my numbers. 90 divided by 60 will give me 1.5. I still have feet in the numerator, and in the denominator, I have minutes. Therefore, 90 feet per hour is equal to 1.5 feet per minute. Now, if you want to do more work by hand on this, yes, you can look at this 90 feet and 60 minutes. And at this point, you can say, well, let me cancel this. 10 goes into 90 9 times. 10 goes into 60 6 times. That means that at this point, we would have had only 9 over 6 instead of 90 over 6, but our final answer would be the same. Let's move on to example 4.
Okay, talking about the space shuttle. Whoops, that needs some updating to maybe the SpaceX rocket. Okay, the space shuttle used to travel at 17,500 miles per hour. So 17,500 miles per hour is where I'm going to start. I want to get to feet per second. Wait a minute, we need to analyze this. Okay, this is miles per hour. We want to get to feet per second. I need to change both the distance unit and the time unit. So this is going to take multiple conversion factors. Okay, eventually though, I want to get to feet per second. So 17,500 miles I need to get to feet. That's going to take one conversion factor. Okay, I'm going to put 1 mile in the denominator. And in the numerator, we'll go 5,280 feet, just as it says at the top of your page that those are equivalent. Okay, and that now will allow me to cancel the miles, and I will have the feet that I want. But now I need to get from hours to seconds. Okay, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So I'll put my hour in the numerator because I want that to cancel, and my 60 minutes in the denominator. Make sure I have that in the right position. Yes, hours cancel. So I've constructed my fraction correctly. Now I need a conversion factor for minutes and seconds. And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. That will allow me to cancel my minutes. Okay, let's check. Across the bottom, I only have seconds left, and that is what I want. I'm going to use my calculator now to multiply 17,500 times 5,280, because that's going to be huge. That's going to be 924,000,000. Okay, so in other words, 92,400,000 feet per 60 times 60. That will give me 3,600 seconds. Okay, let's do that division. That gives me 25,666 points. You know what? I am going to round this. We will not be working with significant digits in this class. I do have some things about significant digits in my YouTube channel if you want to look at that. But I am going to round this, let's see, here. Okay, since it's a 6 on the right side of that dotted line I drew, my answer is going to be 25,700. Remember your units. What were my units? Feet per second. That thing is traveling, or was.
All right, let's move on to example 5. This one is quite interesting. It's going to give us some other things to consider here. The question, of course, is 1/2 feet per hour is equivalent to how many inches per minute? Looking at this, I'm going to have to convert feet to inches, and I'm going to have to convert hours to minutes. Okay, so that's going to take more than one conversion factor. It's going to be multiple step, but the most interesting thing looking at this is this 1/2. So let's see how we could deal with that. We could deal with it as a fraction. I'm going to have feet per hour, and I could say 1/2 feet per hour. Because if you're traveling at 1/2 foot per hour, then in 2 hours, you would be traveling 1 foot. Okay, so you could do it that way. And if that's the way you approach it, then you would use the following conversion factors. You would use 1 foot here because feet will cancel equals 12 inches, and that will get me the inches I want in my final answer. Okay, 2 hours, I need minutes. So 1 hour, putting that in the top will allow it to cancel and leave me minutes in the denominator. let's double check this. Feet cancel, inches. Oh, wait, I don't want to cancel the inches. I want those to remain there. I do want to cancel the hours, and I will have inches per minute left. Now I can do some further canceling because 12 goes into 12 one time, leaving me just 1 in the numerator, and 12 goes into 60 5 times. Anything else I can cancel? No. So I have 1 in the numerator, because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and I have inches left. And in the denominator, I have 2 times 1 is 2, times 5 is 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going 1/10 inch per minute. This could also be written 0.1, because that's 1/10 inch per minute, which makes perfect sense mathematically. However, how many of you have a ruler that is marked in inches and in tenths of inches? Not me. This is an example of why it's really nice to work with the metric system, which is a base 10 system, and use it with our base 10 number system. So in a future class, I will show you how to convert from the English system to the metric system, but not today, so we're just going to have to leave that where it is. In our next example, I'm going to introduce you to a very important unit, and that is the hot dog unit, HDG. Okay, not really, but that's what we're going to use to represent hot dogs. We're talking about a picnic where each person will eat 2 hot dogs. There are 24 people, PPL, at the picnic. One package, PKG, of hot dogs will cost $2.50 and has 8 hot dogs in it. How much will the hot dogs cost for the picnic? How much will the hot dogs cost for the picnic? Okay, this is going to take multiple steps. So let's go ahead and start. I gave you the units here because, well, you can start there. 1 picnic. I'm going to do multiplication by fractions, so I'm going to put 1 picnic over 1. I'm going to use some conversion factors now. Okay, for this picnic, where do I have a picnic unit? Elsewhere, PNC. There's a picnic. 1 picnic at the picnic, okay, 1 picnic equals 24 people. 1 picnic equals 24 people. And I can, by writing it that way, I can cancel my picnics. No, don't cancel the picnic. In fact, invite me. Okay, 24 people. Each person, or 1 people, will eat 2 hot dogs, HDG. Okay, so 1 people, 2 hot dogs. The English language and the mathematical symbols sometimes are problematic. Okay, so 1 person equals 1 people. All right, person, hot dogs. Now, I still need the cost. I still need to get to dollars. 1 package of hot dogs will cost $2.50. Well, I don't have package or dollars yet. Another thing about the English language, sometimes you can pull 2 conversion factors out of 1 sentence. So let me take this sentence and find the 2 conversion factors that are within it. Okay, so 1 package, 1 PKG, will cost $2.50. But that sentence also says, and it being the package. So 1 package has 8 hot dogs in it, HDGs. There's a conversion factor with something I already have. 8 HDGs, hot dogs, equal 1 package. Okay, and the other conversion factor that I got out of that sentence was that 1 package equals $2.50. There is a dollar sign. That's going to give me a cost. Let me see how many other units I have now canceled. I have canceled people, I have canceled hot dogs, I have canceled packages, and I have left, let's see, a dollar sign. That's for cost. And in the denominator, nothing. So I'm going to get the cost when I do all of this. All right. Is there anything I can cancel here in terms of the numbers? Let's take a look. 1, 1, 24, 8, 2. Okay, here we go. 8 goes in there once. 8 goes into 24 3 times. I'm left with just ones in the denominator and no units. So whatever I get when I do this multiplication straight across will be my answer. So 3 times 2 is 6 times 2.50 is 15. And that's $15. So I'm going to go ahead and add 00 to indicate that there are no cents. How much will the hot dogs cost for the picnic? $15. And then buns and baked beans and et cetera, et cetera. But that's outside the scope of our problem here. I now leave it for you to do the rest of the worksheet. Please remember that the answers to all of the problems will be found at the bottom. Don't look at them until you've tried it. Work it out a few times, see if you've got it right. Then if you cannot figure out how to get the answer there, send me an email. We'll talk about it. I hope you have a good day. May I suggest you go outside and have a picnic?